Hey, what's up everybody? Today I got a special video for y'all. One player who needs to step it up from every Eastern Conference NBA team, whether it be the production they provide or something else, as long as they've been having a disappointing or underwhelming season by their standards and what we've expected to come from them. Just a note, the stats may be a little bit off by the time you're seeing this video, so please keep that in mind. And really quickly, before we start with the first team, I need to ask one favor from you. If you could hit that little gray like button down there and turn it blue, that would mean a lot. Every like means the world to me because I could see the support and love I get from you guys. Also, if you're a big fan of the NBA and like to watch NBA related content, consider hitting the subscribe button to stay up to date with all the freshest basketball content. Without further ado, let's get the list going with my favorite team, the Toronto Raptors. Aaron Baines signing a contract with the Toronto Raptors seemed to be one of the only good things to come to the franchise this offseason, or at least that's what I thought. His previous season with the Phoenix Suns was really good. He had a career high in points, assists, rebounds, and three-point percentage too. The Raptors counted on him to help replace the void that was created by Serge Ibaka and Marc Gasol when they decided to move teams during the offseason. So far, he's struggled to do so, with his field goal percentage dropping from 48% to 40%, and his three-point percentage dropping from 35.1% to an abysmal 23.1%. While his rebounding has been steady, he leaves a lot to be desired on defense compared to what Serge and Marc brought to the table. I was also contemplating putting Pascal's name under the Raptors, but decided not to because he's been picking it up as of late. Next up is the Brooklyn Nets, and for them it's Landry Shamet. Most of the Nets core has maintained their production from last year, but Shamet has struggled to adapt to the new environment. The Nets hoped Shamet would replicate his shooting prowess from LA, where he had shooting splits of 40, 40, and 83 in his time there. But his splits have now dipped to just 32, 28, and 88 this season. While his defense has gotten better, his awful shooting might result in him not getting any minutes in the Brooklyn Nets rotation down the line. For Boston, I decided to put Jeff Teague. He was signed to this team during the offseason, and to be honest, Teague has started the year off okay. The reason I had to add him to this list is because nobody else really fits the bill for disappointing on the Celtics, which is a good thing. He's averaging an impressive 43.2% from the three-point line, which is a career high for him. He somehow has an atrocious 28.6% two-point percentage, and he's not facilitating the offense as well as we've known him to do in the past. Boston will definitely need Teague to pick up the pace on offense if he wants to get quality minutes. For the next team, we have the New York Knicks. Again, this one, like the Celtics, isn't a clear-cut answer, but it's Reggie Bullock. He hasn't been great to start the season off, shooting 40.9% from the field and 38.5% from three, but his defense is definitely what is downgraded this year. He started every game this year, but I can definitely see an improving Kevin Knox taking his spot in the starting lineup. For the Philadelphia 76ers, their player is Furkan Korkmaz. Philly has had a lot of pleasant contributions from many of their role players this year, but Korkmaz isn't one of them. Considering he's shooting 39.5% from the field and 33.3% from the three, I wouldn't be surprised if he's completely out of the rotation soon for Philly. The Milwaukee Bucks signed DJ Augustin from the Orlando Magic in hopes that he would be a great sixth man, but Augustin hasn't fit the bill so far. While his three-point shot is almost identical to last season at 37.2%, his two-point percentage has dipped by about 15% from 43.8% to just 28.6%. DJ is also known for his playmaking ability, but that has also taken a dip this season from 4.6 assists a game to just 2.9 a game. He's not too critical to the team's success, but it would be a nice surprise to see Augustin start doing better coming off the bench. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, I'd have to say it's Andre Drummond. Although the Cavs have had a pretty successful season and have been one of the biggest storylines, I'd have to say Andre Drummond actually hurt the Cavs this season. For someone who's taking nearly all of his shot attempts in the paint, a 47.4 field goal percentage is not as good as it seems. He's also averaging 3.2 turnovers a game as a big man, and there have been multiple instances where he's tried to drive into the paint with the ball like he's Russell Westbrook or something. And of course, has subsequently failed miserably. This isn't even mentioning his almost non-existent spacing. I don't think the Cavs traded for Jared Allen for no reason. I believe it's to slowly start trying to get rid of Andre Drummond and putting Allen in his place. For the Detroit Pistons, I'd have to say it's quite obvious. Blake Griffin usually has been able to supply some average defense with explosive offense, but that's all come crashing down this year. He's having awful shooting splits of 38, 32, and 71, all while taking over 6 3-point attempts a game. Everything from his shooting to offensive rebounding to his ability to block shots has gotten worse. I remember watching a Celtics game against the Pistons where his many mistakes on both ends of the court costed them the game in the final minutes. It's really sad to see Blake struggle so much, and we may never see the type of dominance that he had just a couple of years ago. I also saw this graphic that was really depressing, honestly. I mean, the last time he dunked was back in 2019. For the Chicago Bulls, I decided to put Kobe White. Kobe's had a pretty good season this year, but there aren't really any other options in my opinion. His efficiency hasn't improved much from last year, going from 39.4% from the field to 40.7%, and the same goes with his 3-point percentage too, that went from 35.4% to 36.3%. His steals per game have also gone down from 0.8 a game to just 0.4 despite receiving more player time. He's still averaging 15.6 points per game along with 5.4 assists and 4.6 rebounds, but his efficiency and defense still leaves much to be desired. For the Indiana Pacers, the player that I went with is Aaron Holiday. After having a pretty good sophomore season, Holiday has struggled to replicate his success. His 3-point percentage has gone from 39.4% to just 32.6%, and nearly an identical amount of shots per game, and his normal field goal percentage isn't great either at 36.8%. He's turning the ball over less, and is playing decent defense as expected, but his poor efficiency is really hurting the Pacers right now. The Miami Heat overall have been one of the most disappointing teams this year, but I think Tyler Hero is one of the major reasons to blame for the lack of success. Sure, Hero is having a decent season, but that's because he's getting more involved in the offense now, so averaging 16.7 points per game is to be expected. He's also averaging 5.9 rebounds per game while shooting 44.2% from the field. His 3-point percentage has taken a dip from 38.9% to just 34%, which has clearly made Miami's offense more stagnant. His defense is also lackluster, averaging a poor 0.4 steals per game in over 33 minutes. Even simply, a more efficient Hero could lift Miami above 500. The Washington Wizards have also not been nearly as successful as they hoped they'd be. Nevertheless, Davis Bertans is the person I'd added to the list. I could have went with Russell Westbrook here, but there hasn't been a big enough sample size to really tell, so we'll go with Davis Bertans for now. Re-signed for his stellar shooting, Bertans was rewarded with a 5-year, $80 million contract, but his field goal percentage has dipped to an awful 33.9%, which is almost 10% down from last year. His 3-point percentage has also gone from 42.4% to just 33.1%. Obviously, he's still struggling on the defensive end as well. If he doesn't step up soon, the Wizards are going to regret backloading a huge contract to him. Lesson learned, never give a huge payday to a player that can only shoot. The Charlotte Hornets are the next team, and for them, I thought it was pretty obvious. Devontae Graham emerged as one of the only bright spots on the weak Hornets team last year. It was super fun to watch Devontae come out of nowhere and just start hooping. But now, he seems to be nothing more than a one-hit wonder, as his shooting is a dreadful 35% from the field and the 3. As one of the least efficient players in the NBA, Graham will likely keep his bench role if he doesn't step his game up soon on offense, with his shooting and passing, and on the defensive end as well. Hopefully he can get back into a groove, but for now, I think Charlotte is making the right move by starting LaMelo. The Atlanta Hawks have definitely been exciting in the past, and with the addition of Bogdan Bogdanovic, I thought it would only get better. I never understood why he was paid so much in free agency, maybe because he was a hot commodity among teams and fans, which I also don't get. His field goal percentage has slipped to 38.5%, and he's only averaging half as many steals as he used to get at 0.4. And in a crowded Atlanta Hawks rotation, with everyone healthy, Bogdanovic will have to fight for a big role in the offense. And on to our last Eastern Conference team, the Orlando Magic. For them, I decided to do something out of the ordinary and choose a rookie. Yes, I'm talking about Cole Anthony. He's super fun to watch, and every passing game helps him develop into a solid role player, and he also hit one of the best buzzer beaters from this season so far against the Timberwolves. But he's simply been horribly inefficient. As a rookie, he's averaging 10.8 field goal attempts per game with Markelle Fultz out for the year. Anthony is shooting 39.8% from 2s and 32.5% from the 3. Despite averaging 4.4 rebounds per game and 3.8 assists per game in 26.7 minutes, he needs to step it up more and improve his efficiency if he wants to see a bigger role on the offense in the future. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets top 5 in voting for Rookie of the Year because the class hasn't been the best so far. Well, that does it. Thank you so much if you made it to the end of the video. Let me know you made it here by commenting who you think the most disappointing player has been on your favorite team. If you want to see me make the same type of video but for the Western Conference, consider hitting the like button or even subscribing if you like NBA related content. I won't hold y'all back for any longer. So until next time, cheers.